Hi FlossTube, I'm Jane.
I'm Amelia.
And we're here to talk about our October crafting. So we're going to start with some of my previous cross-stitch finishes. The first one I'm going to show you is a piece of Star Wars characters, and this design I got from Etsy, and it was by Wee Little Stitches. It was actually 2 patterns, so this one here up until here was Star Wars Enemies, and then across here was Star Wars Friends, and then I've stitched them on one piece. So I stitched this one up for my husband and my son because they're huge Star Wars fans. It's stitched on 14 count Ada in a sort of a blue-grey colour. And I think I did this a couple of years ago. I can't quite remember when. Yeah, fun little piece there. The next piece I'm going to show you is a Harry Potter cross stitch that I partly designed myself. Cloud's Factory has a big Harry Potter sampler, which I really liked but wasn't quite what I wanted. And I've also stitched before some frosted pumpkin stitchery pieces, and I quite liked how they had designed their characters. So I kind of tried to merge those 2 elements together and come up with this design. Again, for my kids who are big Harry Potter fans. So this is a huge piece. That's it in its entirety. But basically I wanted to stitch each book and do some of the motifs, I guess, from each book. So I've put a word in each section to represent the book, and then sort of added the main characters or things, you know, from each of the books and movies. So yeah, quite a big piece, and probably one of my favourite cross stitches because I'm a bit of a Harry Potter fan as well. And I was really proud of how this all came together. So yeah, pretty much came up with this design on my own. It hangs in the kids' playroom, and they've got a whole bunch of Harry Potter stuff. We went to the US last year and went to Harry Potter World in Florida, and so we brought lots of Harry Potter goodies, didn't we?
Yeah, like the one.
Yeah, it was awesome. We loved it. So we've got all our Harry Potter stuff on a little shelf, and a whole bunch of pictures hanging above it, so it's quite cool. So they're my previous finishes. I wanted to show something Halloweenish, but I actually haven't stitched any Halloween pieces before. So Star Wars and Harry Potter was kind of as close as it could come. So now we might talk about what I've been stitching for the last month. We'll start with this one. So Amelia will hold up the design for you. This one's called a CC Rabbits, which I'd shown on my last video, and I hadn't got very far with it. Well, I suppose I was almost at the halfway mark, but I'd kind of not lost interest, but I was finding it really difficult. So I'd put it down, and anyway, I've picked it back up again, and I'm so glad I did. I've made some good progress this month. So this is where I'm up to. So I think last time none of this was done, and I hadn't filled in the cross stitch down here. So filled all that in, and then started doing the back stitching of this, you know, the mirror image basically, and then yeah, have filled in a lot of the cross stitch there as well. And I was finding this piece really difficult, and it is a little tricky, but I've kind of found the more I've progressed with it, the easier and the better at it I've become. So I'm really keen to get this finished before the end of this year. And this design is from a shop in Sydney called The Cruel Goblin, and I was there a few weeks back and I saw they've got another one of these out of a reindeer, and it's absolutely beautiful. They've got the reindeer and they've stitched it with this gorgeous red colour as the background. So yeah, I really think this is such a pretty and effective style of stitching. So now that I've got the hang of it, I'm really keen to get it finished and stitched up. So hopefully we'll keep going on this piece, and maybe next month I'll have a finish to show you. There we go, pop that over there. So the next one I'll show you, do you want to talk about this one?
It is Wicked Christmas.
Wicked Christmas. So I haven't done too much more on this. I think last time I'd done the lamppost and here, so I've started working on this bit of a Christmas tree down here and this second building across here. So this is stitched on 40 count linen with one thread over 2 squares. So it's quite a, I think this is my first piece that I've ever stitched on 40 count. I really actually love how it looks. I love using the one thread, and yeah, I think it looks really good. And you know, if you didn't watch my first video, this is the top section that I've almost completed that first page. So yeah, a nice fun little piece. It'll take a long time to do this one, so I just, you know, pull it out every so often and stitch a little bit. But that's what I got completed this month. Thanks, Millie. My next one is Halloween rules. So do you want to hold up the ones that I've finished this month?
Yeah. This is Mind Your Mummy.
Yeah, and what's the other one on there?
It is Sit for a Spell.
Sit for a Spell. And this one?
Is Brew Some Fun.
Brew Some Fun. So my stitched piece, last time I had almost finished Stay Up Late. So anyway, this is what I've done this month. Now today is the 28th of October, so I think it's safe to say this is not going to be finished in time for Halloween, but I've only got three little blocks left to go on this piece, so it's close. And I did only start it about 2 months ago, so I guess I haven't done too badly, really. But yeah, there we go. I'm stitching this on 28 count. I've used DMC threads. And the kids really wanted to do the rules, didn't you?
Yeah.
So do you want to tell them that we've done a couple of the rules? Which rules did we do?
We did wear a costume.
Yeah, and where did we wear the costume?
On ice skating to Fright Night.
Yeah, we do ice skating. So on Friday night they had a Fright Night disco. So we went dressed up for that. And have we done any of the others, love?
We did.
Oh, well, this one?
Stay Up Late.
Stay Up Late, because that was late, wasn't it? That was a late night.
We also did
Brew Some Fun,
yeah,
because we thought that was pretty fun. And Amelia, you've done this one as well.
Yeah, yesterday and the day before that.
Eat candy.
Aha.
So they're still doing the rules, even though the piece is not fully complete. They're still working their way through the rules, and it will be finished definitely for next Halloween. Yeah. All right. So, what else have I been doing? I've talked about that one. I think now it's on to new starts that we did that I started in the month. So I did mention that I wanted to start this one.
It's the French Woolens by Plum Street Samplers.
Yeah, French Woolens by Plum Street Samplers. This is my first Plum Street sampler pattern that I've ever done, so I do have a lot in my collection to start, but this is the first one I've actually started, and this is my progress. I started this on, when did I start it? Thursday?
No, I think you started it yesterday. Yeah, I think
I don't know, but it stitches up quite quick. I'm stitching this on 40 count. It's the same fabric I'm using for Wicked Christmas. So 1 thread over 2, and I'm using the Cord 4 colours, which are Classic Colourworks and the Gentle Arts. But where it's only using where it's only a small amount, then I've used the DMC equivalent. So for example, the red door and the red stripes on this sheep, I've used the DMC equivalent there, but everything else I've used I'm using the fancy floss colors. And also because of the color fabric I'm using, this, I don't know whether you can see like the white and the white around the window frames, it was meant to be oatmeal and it just didn't show up at all on this fabric, so I'm using DMC white for that, which I don't know whether you can see it. It actually does stand out quite nicely. So I have had to swap that out. So yeah, I really like stitching this piece. I'll probably do some more work on that one today. But that's been a new start. The other new start is this one.
Frosty Forest.
Yeah, Frosty Forest.
By Country Cottage Needleworks.
By Country Cottage Needleworks. Very good. And what's the other one in there?
Raccoon Cabin.
I really love stitching this. So let's show how my stitching so far. So I've got 2 squares completed, Frosty Forest, which is the central square, and Raccoon Cabin. I haven't stitched his eyes. I think I'll do all the French knots at the end. And there's little buttons that come in the kit, so I'll sew them on at the end as well. I really love this. I have to yeah, you can show if you want. So there's the little birds that goes with the Raccoon Cabin square, and a little snowman, and he goes with the Frosty Forest Central square. So yeah, I think it's going to look so cute. I'm stitching this on 32 count Star Sapphire linen, and I think it is the perfect colour. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Now I've got to stop stitching on this for a bit because I really want to get this one, the French Woolens. I really want to get that finished because I want to gift that to my sister for Christmas, who's just come back from a trip to France. And I really would like to finish Halloween Rules because I'm so close. It'd be nice to get that finished and framed up. So I'm actually going to put this one, try not to stitch on this one for the next month while I concentrate on those 2. And the rabbits, of course. I want to get the rabbits finished as well. So I have to be strong and just no more Frosty Forest. So my plan for November is, as I just mentioned, French Woolens, finish off the Halloween Rules, hopefully finish off the rabbits, and maybe do some more on this one. So this is from a book, Rico Design. I love these books. I think I've got 3 or 4 of them, and they've got just the most gorgeous patterns in there, and lots of different patterns. And I'm actually stitching a little tablecloth with this pattern. So I've had to alter the pattern just a little bit so that it fits on the tablecloth that I've brought. But yeah, there's heaps of really nice designs in this book, and it shows you all different finishes that you can do, which is nice as well, so you don't always, you know, have to just frame stuff. You can do table runners, tablecloths, cushions. They do have a few framed pieces as well, but yeah, so I'll show you my progress so far. It'd be nice to have this finished in time for Christmas. So here's one side of the tablecloth. I haven't done the bows on top of those boxes yet. And then I've started the next side. Made some good progress there. So yeah, I started this a long time ago, and then I don't know, put it away. I used to only stitch on one project at a time, and then, you know, I would start something like this and lose interest and then just put it away and never ever pull it out again. So since I've started watching FlossTube, it's kind of been good because it's encouraged me to pull some of these older pieces back out, and even if I just do a little bit on them, you sort of get re-energized or reinvigorated with those pieces again. So it's been good. I've been able to finish off a few pieces that were, you know, almost finished anyway, and get back into them again. So my purchase this month was something I've been eyeing off for a long time, and I'm sure all of you have seen a million times, but it is
Farmhouse Christmas.
Yeah, turn it around, hold it up. Farmhouse Christmas series. I think this is so gorgeous. When I was purchasing Frosty Forest, I was tossing up between I'm either getting Frosty Forest or I'm getting Farmhouse Christmas, and I'm not quite sure why I went with Frosty Forest in the end. I don't know, and it didn't matter anyway, because a month later I've gone and brought this one. So I went, my sister was visiting and she does cross stitch, so we went to our local cross stitch store here in Sydney, and they had all 9 of them. So I grabbed them, and I'm going to stitch them as ornaments because I'm doing Frosty Forest as a big picture, so I wanted to do something different with this. So I'm doing them as ornaments, and I've brought this natural coloured linen, and it's a 36 count. So I wanted to make them not too big, as they're going to be ornaments. And I've got just one of each of the fancy floss to get me started. So there's not too many, so it's quite economical really to purchase the fancy floss. Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job of showing you those, but I'm sure you've all seen this pattern a million times anyway. So yeah, I'm obviously super keen to start this one, but I will not start it until next year. I've got to get those other pieces finished. So that's all I've purchased, and I have been doing a lot of browsing of patterns. I certainly have a heap more that I want to get, but I'm trying to not buy any at the moment. I'm just trying to finish some of these other ones first, and then I will maybe hit my wish list and Or maybe Santa will bring me some. Okay, so Millie, do you want to talk about some of your craft activities?
Last week on Friday, I went to the eye doctor and took a day off school. And after that, we went to some shops and bought some stuff. She bought a lot. I bought 3 stuff, but she paid for it. I got this poodle family, but I haven't collected them all. But this is what I have so far.
Talk a bit louder.
This is my favorite, named her Millie, like short for my name. And this one, I call this one Isabella, and there's a flower there. This one is Lionel. And the last one I got from last Friday is Robbie.
Now, do you want to show the drawings you did?
I did a drawing of each one I have.
So that is Millie.
That is, this one is Isabella. This one is Lionel. Did him a bit short.
He's so cute.
With a big face.
And the last one?
The last one, the pants are a bit big, but I don't mind.
There's Robbie.
Yeah, with these overalls.
Yeah, so she did some little drawings of her new poodle family.
I've got the twins and the baby only left of this family. And I have this, I got this build a bot from my birthday this year. And there's 2 more to collect somewhere just there, the red one and the blue one. And this one is called Buzzy Bee, and it says watch my legs and the wings when I move.
And when are you going to build this?
Maybe today, and maybe I might finish it for next month.
That's a good idea.
Show you what it can do if it moves.
Very good. Okay, so I think that's it. We've talked about what we've done and what our plans are for the next month.
Haven't done any beaters, so that's why we chose to do this stuff.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our video, and we'll see you again in November. Bye.
Bye.